It is January 26, 2025, Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, AFC Championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills. The winner goes to the Super Bowl. 76,000 people are on their feet. The Bills have just gone 3 and out. And now, a punt is sailing through the cold Missouri air toward a wide receiver standing near his own end zone. Most of the people in that building could not have told you his name 6 weeks ago. He was not on any preseason depth chart that mattered. He had been on the active roster for exactly 7 weeks. Before that, he had spent nearly 2 full years in the Kansas City Chiefs organization without playing a single regular season snap. But he had caught this punt before. Earlier in the game, the first time the Bills kicked it to him, he caught it at the 10, ran straight to the sideline, and Travis Kelce, 12-year veteran, 5 Super Bowls, walked up and said 4 words: "That's not being great." So when the Bills punt it a second time, he does not fair catch it. He catches it in stride, finds the seam, and takes it 41 yards up the field into Bills territory. 6 plays later, Patrick Mahomes punches it in himself. The Chiefs extend their lead. They win 32-29. Super Bowl LIX, New Orleans, and the first person to reach him on the sideline is Kelce, the man who made that return 3 months before that moment. He did not have a locker in the Kansas City Chiefs locker room. He is 5'9". He weighs 187 pounds. He ran a 4.57 40-yard dash at Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California, one of the most decorated high school football programs in the country. The kind of place where NFL scouts show up every single Friday. He caught 111 passes for 1,695 yards and 19 touchdowns over 3 varsity seasons. He was a 4-star recruit with offers from USC and Wisconsin. At Fresno State, in his final college season, he became the first player in program history to earn all-conference honors at 2 separate positions, wide receiver and punt returner, in the same year. And after all of that, not one team in the entire National Football League used a single draft pick on him. But what you probably didn't know is that being undrafted was only the beginning. He showed up to his first Chiefs preseason and led the team in receiving yards, then blew out his shoulder and spent his entire rookie year on injured reserve. He watched his teammates win Super Bowl LIX from the outside. Then in 2024 training camp, the most respected special teams coordinator in the league told reporters he would personally pound the table to keep this kid on the 53-man roster. They waived him anyway. He signed to the practice squad. No locker, no guaranteed role. For a player who had spent his entire life being told he was not quite enough of anything, the NFL had found a way to say exactly that. And that is just scratching the surface. In this video, you are going to find out how a kid who grew up not knowing which community he belonged to found the one place where none of that ever mattered. You are going to find out why his path from Cal to Fresno State to injured reserve to practice squad was as close to disappearing from the NFL as you can get. And you are going to find out what Travis Kelce said to him at halftime, and why 4 words changed everything. But before we break this down for you, do me a favor and hype the video and subscribe. And with that, let's go. So how does a kid from Orange, California end up standing in the end zone at Arrowhead with the AFC Championship on the line, wearing cleats painted with the flag of the Philippines? To understand that, you have to know where Nikko Remigio came from, and not just geographically. His father, Mark Remigio, is a private investigator. Born in Seattle, raised in Southern California, second-generation Filipino-American. His family immigrated from Iloilo and Muntinlupa in the Philippines. His mother, Jennifer, works in communications, half black, half white, originally from Pontiac, Michigan. She met Mark in Santa Ana in 1988. She was supposed to go back to Michigan. She stayed. Nikko was born November 4, 1999, in Orange, California. He has 2 younger brothers, and from the time he's old enough to At the time he was old enough to understand what other kids were saying about him, he understood that the world did not have a clean category for what he was. He put it plainly at Berkeley. It's like you're too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. And then, you're not really Filipino because you're only half. He talked about kids asking if he was Hawaiian and eventually just going along with it. Not because he was ashamed, because he was tired of explaining something nobody around him had the vocabulary to understand. All he wanted was to belong somewhere. Mark signed him up for flag football at 5 years old, and whatever was happening everywhere else, on the football field nobody asked what he was. They just watched what he could do. He went on to play at Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana. If you know California high school football, you know that program. Scouts from every major program know that address. 3 varsity seasons, 111 catches, 1,695 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4-star recruit offers from USC and Wisconsin. He committed to Cal on June 16, 2017. His father said Berkeley would shape the man Nikko was meant to be, and it was not purely a football decision. That told you something about the Remigios. But Cal is where the visibility started to slip. UC Berkeley, Pac-12. Freshman year, 11 catches. Sophomore year he broke out, 38 catches, 513 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then COVID wiped out the 2020 season, 4 games, 10 catches, everything stopped. Senior year, 38 catches, 242 yards, 4 yards per catch. For a wide receiver, that is the production of someone being used wrong. 4 years, 97 receptions, 903 total yards. Not one NFL scout called. He had spent 4 years in the Pac-12, and the league had looked at his tape and moved on. The kid who never belonged anywhere had found a new way to be invisible. Same feeling, bigger stage. So he entered the transfer portal as a graduate transfer and chose Fresno State. Not a power conference program. But offensive coordinator Jeff Tedford had built a system that got receivers the ball in space, and Nikko would be playing alongside quarterback Jake Haener, the same Jake Haener who is now the Kansas City Chiefs' backup signal caller. The fit was right in a way 4 years at Cal never quite was. The 2022 season was everything the previous 4 years were not. 69 catches, 768 yards, 5 touchdowns. He became the first player in Fresno State history to earn all conference honors as both a wide receiver and punt returner in the same season. The Bulldogs went from 1-4 to Mountain West Conference champions, and Nikko was at the center of it. An agent called. For the first time, someone in the professional football world was paying attention. Then NFL Draft Day arrived, April 2023. Nikko sat home with Mark and Jennifer. Round 1 passed, round 2, round 3. The phone did not ring. Rounds 4, 5, 6 came and went. Round 7, the last round, the round where teams take long shots on players they figure they might as well gamble on, went by without his name. 259 drafted. Nikko Remigio was not one of them. Then the phone rang. Kansas City Chiefs. Undrafted free agent deal. No guarantee. Just a training camp invitation, Mark Remigio told reporters. I call it a basic underdog story. He said it like the hard part was over. It was not. Preseason 2023. Nikko immediately turns heads as he leads the Chiefs in receiving yards through the preseason, including a game in New Orleans, the same city where they will eventually play Super Bowl LIX. Then a shoulder and wrist injury ends his preseason. Waived with an injury designation. Placed on injured reserve. He spends the entire 2023 season on IR. Does not play a single regular season snap. February 2024. The Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl LIX in Las Vegas. Parade through the streets of Kansas City. Nikko Remigio watches from a distance. Undrafted, never played. The dream he had been chasing since he was 5 years old had led him here, to a sideline he was not even allowed to stand on. If there is a rock bottom in this story, that is it. He comes back for 2024 training camp, competing against Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman, and others. He earns it on the field, 133 yards on 4 kick returns, 42 yards on 2 punt returns, 7 catches for 52 yards through 3 preseason games. Dave Taub, one of the most decorated special teams coordinators in NFL history, tells reporters he will pound the table for Nikko Remigio to make the 53-man roster. August 27, 2024. Roster cut day. The Chiefs waive him anyway. He signs to the practice squad the next morning, and this is the part that stays with you. When Nikko talks about this period, he does not talk about the waiver. He says, "I didn't even have a locker in the locker room last year." That is what practice squad life means. You are in the building. You are not in the building. You prepare. You wait. And the roster moves around you week 1, 2, 3. The season moves forward without him. Then in week 3, Mecole Hardman goes down. The Chiefs need a returner. December 7, 2024, Nikko is elevated to the active roster. NFL debut, week 14 against the Chargers. He walks into the locker room, and this time there is a locker with his name on it. The Chiefs reach the playoffs. Divisional round at Arrowhead against the Houston Texans. On the opening play, Nikko takes the kickoff 63 yards. The building erupts. 76,000 people who barely know his name now understand exactly what Dave Taub already knew. Taub says after the game, "He's a guy I can depend on." Then comes the AFC Championship. You already know how it starts. The fair catch. Kelce, 4 words. But here is what Nikko said when he told the story. "This was the first punt that they kicked, and I went and fair caught it on the 10. Really, I had some room, but I was like, man, this is my first time being in the AFC Championship game. Let me just get my feet wet a little bit." I ran to the sidelines. He was like, "That's not being great." I'm like, "He's right." He goes back out. Bills punt again, no hesitation, 41 yards. Chiefs ball at the Buffalo 34. 6 plays, Mahomes scores on the ground, lead extended. Final 32-29, Super Bowl LIX. And Kelce, Philly is the first person to reach him on the sideline. After the game, someone notices his cleats, painted with the colors of the Philippine flag. Nikko does not skip past it. He says, "My culture, my nationality is everything to me." To be able to represent the Philippines, there's not too many Filipino athletes doing it at this stage, especially in the NFL. To be able to represent my culture and my family, it's a big driver in why I'm here today. The kid who used to say he was Hawaiian because no one understood Filipino had just helped send the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl, wearing his flag in front of the whole country, from a boy in Orange County who could not answer a simple question about where he was from, to cleats carrying a nation's flag into the AFC Championship. From too black, too white, not Filipino enough to standing in front of the whole country, wearing exactly who he is. From no locker in the Chiefs locker room to Kelce wrapping his arms around him on the Arrowhead sideline. From watching his teammates ride through a Super Bowl parade without him to stepping on that bus to New Orleans himself. Nobody drafted him. Nobody guaranteed him anything. Nobody put his name on a depth chart that mattered until the moment they had no choice but to. Nikko Remigio, number 81, a Kansas City Chief. And for the first time in his life, exactly where he belongs. Be sure to hype the video and subscribe.